Welcome to my first video on life coaching techniques and skill sets. This is going to be on a format basis. So let's get right into this. We want to talk about today being authentic. I'm going to start off with a story. So a farmer is walking along a dirt road one early morning, and he came across the tiny egg. And he picked that egg up very carefully in his hands, and he examined it, made sure it wasn't cracked, and he decided, I'm going to take this egg home. So very carefully, he walks all the way home. He already knows what the egg is. This is an eagle's egg, and he's going to try and hatch this eagle's egg. So on his way home, though, he comes across a brilliant idea that pops into his head, and he decides what he's going to do is give this egg to the chickens to raise. And that's exactly what he does. So a few weeks later, the egg hatches, and sure enough, out pops an eagle. Now, this eagle looks around, and all it sees is chickens. So he watches them very carefully, and he learns from them, and he realizes, well, if he's with all these chickens, I must be a chicken too. So he starts acting like a chicken. He learns to do this with his wings. He gets the strut going like this, and he starts pecking at the ground, and he's clucking, and he's becoming the best chicken that an eagle could possibly be. So now years go by, and he's getting quite a little bit older, and one day he looks up into the sky, and he sees the most amazing sight. Against that clear blue background of the sky, he sees a bird soaring like no bird he has ever seen before. And his beak just drops. What is that? He thinks to himself. So he turns to his chicken friend and he goes, what kind of bird is that? And the chicken looks up and he squints really hard because chickens can't see as good as eagles. And he goes, that there bird? That's an eagle. And that's the king of the skies, that bird is. And the eagle himself, he looks and he goes, wow, that's just amazing. I want to fly like that. And the chicken just starts to laugh beside him. He says, you can't fly like that. You will never be able to soar like that. You're a chicken. Now, a few years later, this eagle dies of old age. Now that's a sad enough story, I'll grant you that. But what's really sad about that story, the most disappointing aspect of that story is, I bet you already know, that eagle lived his entire life believing he was a chicken. You get the moral of the story? We're talking about authenticity here, aren't we? The moral of the story is you've got to be authentic. If you're not being authentic to who you are, you're going to be like that eagle, never realizing its potential and living its life as a chicken. Are you living your life like a chicken? I hope not. The problem is that many of us, by the age of 12, acquire storylines about who we are according to other people's impressions of who they think we are. That means, for instance, our parents give us a lot of ideas as to who we are. But that's their impressions of who we are. They're not necessarily coinciding with who we believed we were going to be. Friends have an input in this as well, as do teachers. Now, these are all well-meaning people. They have no ill intentions, really, towards us. They're just giving us feedback as to who they think we are. And we naively adopt those storylines. We become what is reinforced into our storylines. So going into our teenage years, we're very confused anyway. We start living our life according to the ideas and the impressions other people have given us. And then when we go on into adulthood, same thing happens. We start living our lives according to false narratives. Can you imagine the ramifications of that? So for many of us, just like that ego living with the chicken, thinking it was a chicken, we can go through our entire lives believing things about ourselves that are not true. That means we can marry people that we're not really, shouldn't really be with. We can work at jobs, even if they're well-paying jobs, that are unrewarding and unfulfilling to us, not nourishing our souls. We can acquire things that we think we need to acquire that we don't value. We can go through our entire lives, I'm repeating this one more time, believing we are someone that we are not. People go on big adventures around the world trying to find themselves. By living an authentic life, we can bypass all that. And if we're in the state where we are living an inauthentic life, we can turn it around and get back on track. We do that by doing an inward journey, going within oneself, meeting our demons, those voices that natter away at us all our life, telling us how bad we are. We can embrace those inner demons, make them our friends. Most importantly, we can fall in love with ourselves, build up a relationship with who we are, and actually like who we are, so that when we develop relationships outside of this vessel, outside of ourselves, we can show love to them. Because we can only show as much love to others as we feel for ourselves. So if we don't feel a whole lot of love here, we're not going to extend a whole lot of love elsewhere. So we can enhance our relationships by falling in love with this. It doesn't mean that we're going to become narcissistic or arrogant, but it does mean that we're going to love this, us. As we become authentic, we become powerful, we become stronger, we become more of what we are. So that when people come along and say, Michael, you are this. Well, I can stand true to who I am and go, no, that's not who I am. That's who you think I am, but it's not true of who I am. Likewise, If they come along and do that and they say, hey, you are this, and you can respond with, absolutely. That is who I am. You're buying on with that assessment. I am good with that. An authentic person can move through life no longer ill at ease, no longer uncomfortable, no longer confused, for the most part. You're going to be present with yourself. You're going to be powerful. You're going to be strong, confident. Authenticity is the most rewarding experience, and it transforms your life. So that's all I want to say on that right now. I can go into this in a far greater detail. This is very quick, very cursory. I want to keep this time down. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Leave any comments you would like to leave behind. If you would like to get in contact with me, here I'm going to do some self-marketing. Sorry about that. But feel free to get in touch with me. I'm a life coach. I'm an energy worker. I can help you in all sorts of amazing and wonderful ways. I'm going to leave it at that and stop talking now. Till next time. Bye.